We're back here with more Vainglory International Premier League. We just saw Unknown squeak by with a bit of a win after an early advantage, and now we're coming up to our second match of the day. It will be two Korean teams, VAP versus Tiger-Phobia. So Tiger-Phobia, both these teams coming off of losses in this group to Beyond and to Gangstars. Tiger-Phobia took a pretty hard loss to Gangstars.
Yeah.
VAP, they held their own early. They actually came out to an early advantage versus Beyond, but they couldn't quite turn it into a win. It went downhill pretty fast after the first couple of kills.
For me, all eyes are on Phobia, actually. I feel like they even had more fans than Invincible Armada, the team that won the Invitational. Everybody came down even for their first game, and then they lost. It was kind of sad, but I'm looking towards that team to show us a bit of a better face, as they have been the favorites for a long time, but they haven't really shown the results so far.
Yes, that is definitely true. And I think for me, the guy who kind of has to step up right here is Urano, the laner from Tiger-Phobia, because he was entirely outclassed by Iraqi Zoro in that last match. And certainly, Iraqi Zoro is one of the best laners at this event, but he didn't really do much on that box.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, as you said, but I think he'll have a better time here. I think we're going to see the Urana that we were meant to see in that first game. As I said before, tons of fans. We see a lot of signs here. Not really sure. That makes sense, the Tiger from Tiger-Phobia. I'm not sure what the deal is with the Tiger. I'm not sure why they're drawing that. It's their name.
Great job, Valdez.
Yeah.
You figured it out.
I got it together
I
now.
don't know why they would draw Tigers if they want to actually support Tiger-Phobia, because I assume that they're actually afraid of Tigers.
Yeah.
So you'd think that you
Are you trying to scare them?
Are you trying to scare them before the match?
What's the deal, guys? Get it together.
You
draw some lions or something.
You should probably draw like a tiger trap of some sort.
Yeah.
That seems like better support for the team. Well, VAP will be coming in here. And interestingly enough, we had the two Vox players in the last game. Zero from Tiger-Phobia, one of the few Fortress players we've seen. After the Fortress nerfs came through, of course, we did see all of those Fortress bans at the Invitational, but it's become much, much less of a contested roam pick.
Yeah. I still enjoy it at the lower levels of solo queue, but definitely not seen as much here. And it looks like we're going to introduce our first team here on the left side. It is Tiger-Phobia.
See, they have a skull. They don't have a tiger on their side because that's what they're afraid of.
And I see them mentioned as Phobia a lot as well. So.
Well, Phobia is the name of the guild, and I think the Tiger is this particular team within that guild. And there will be Zero on the end. And these guys, the jungle and the roam against Gangstars did hold their own. 3-5-3 in the last match for Zero in terms of his KDA. Suri comes in with the Arden pickup here. And we did see the swap. Fortress has actually played more as a jungler, and we did see Suri come in with the Arden in the last match. So
yeah, I want to see them play just a very standard comp here, show us what they've got.
The Iron Kid, Guardian of Phobia. Oh yeah, and this was, Gangstars, they did overcommit early. They played very aggressively, and you can see Iraqi Zoro getting caught out there after the gauntlet gets thrown down by Arden, and they sort of corral him. So
Never escape.
This was the highlight of the game. It was from Phobia. It didn't get much better than this.
Rib and pepperonis. Sorry, Ringo. You got gauntleted. Iron Kid. Looks like he dyed his hair.
He's changed it up. Now he's the Golden Kid.
Yeah.
And lastly, it will be Rano on the end. Playing that Vox, but got to step it up, I think. Got to step it up.
Yeah. No more 06 and 5 Vox. Let's see what you got here, Urano. Vainglorious. You would kind of think like a lot of the pro gamers you would take it for granted that they would be Vainglorious, a lot of them, but it's actually incredibly hard from what I've heard to get up there.
Yeah, you also have to play a very large amount of games to get up to that top tier on the ladder. And on the other side of the arena, we do have VAP.
Taking a loss so far to Beyond, a team that also went down to Gangstars. Let's see who they do have on the team here.
So we'll start way down at the end, and it will be Lily on the roam position. So they've actually switched up their official positions here, as we've seen many, many times, even though Lily did play Catherine in the last series. And interestingly enough, Chivalry, their lane, or their jungle player did play a more carry-oriented Adagio build, which you can do, because he can buff himself so well in terms of his auto attacks.
Here's Chivalry. Looks like he's been changed to that jungle position, as you mentioned. See what he's got in store for us tonight.
I wonder if they're going to actually play a more traditional jungle hero.
Dandy. They're saying Chivalry, is he not Dandy? Maybe he looks like Dandy, I'm not sure.
He doesn't look like Dandy from League of Legends. But perhaps his play is Dandy-esque out of the jungle. And there is Kill B on the end, coming in with that box. So curious if the box is going to be banned out in this match, or what else they may be looking to take out of the pool, considering that both of these players did take it in the last round. I think maybe you take out Arden for Suri too if you are VAP.
Well, could be that for sure if you're going for team bans, but maybe another Celeste or Glaive ban. We've seen a ton of those so far. Wouldn't surprise me really if we saw another one tonight here.
Well, I think we can see why. In that last game, you can see how effective the Glaive is early, and then conversely, how late game is pretty much rocked by Celeste.
Yeah.
Both of those heroes making a massive impact in our Group A match tonight, but let's see what we have in store here in Group B, and that is, I just love how that trophy looks. That thing is so sweet.
Oh yeah. Ojan doing an incredible job so far this season. I've been enjoying myself hugely so far. But here we do see the picks and the bans. Catherine banned out here by Tiger-Phobia, and then Koshka banned out by VAP.
Interesting. We don't see too many Koshka bans. And are we going to see a Taka, a hero that hasn't made too many appearances yet? It seems like could be still a powerful option. Waiting for the players to lock in. Taka, Ringo, and Adagio. Well, interesting. Adagio and Vox locked in, and there's going to be the Arden to finish it off. And we are going to get into our first match of Group B.
The battle for the Halcyon Fold has begun.
Tiger-Phobia wins the fan cheers this game as we get on to the Halcyon Fold. And curious, very curious indeed. We will see a little bit of a role swap around here from VAP. Is Chivalry going to the lane on that box this time?
It's almost like a normal thing at this point, Monte Cristo. Almost every game we see lane switches. The positions that these guys have said they were do not hold any strength.
That's very true. Well, nice. Wow, Urano is stepping it up, and Chivalry just getting bossed around. Great animation canceling from Urano here in the mid lane. And Lily going for a 6-shooter first on Arden, so we could see a weapon power Arden build. Now, remember that Arden, with the Blood for Blood, can burst really, really hard, because the Blood for Blood, his B ability is an auto attack reset. So you can auto and then hit for Blood, and it can crit. It does both weapon power and crystal power damage, so you can really have a very, very hard burst.
And don't forget, when you overdrive it, I think it's something like 30%, but look at this, coming in, Chivalry's going to go down.
Urano, man, picking that one up, and Chivalry not designated as their laner, and maybe this is why.
That sign said, the team that plays Ringo is our team. I guess he's a Ringo fan, not necessarily a Tiger-Phobia fan. Not yet.
Well, an early solo kill will net some nice gold there and give Phobia some time to shop. Head down to the neutral shop, got the 50-yard line here. And now, actually, looks like the 6-shooter into double O card. Normally you build just flat HP onto Arden because he scales so well with it. His Vanguard scales his shield onto his ally, scales with that flat, or the bonus health rather. So that's typically what you want to get. I'm just very curious where this build is going, because if Chivalry's Vox is going to be the only source of damage on this team, I am now very concerned for VAP.
Oh, yeah. And Simon was something like, is this not too much? Or is that, I'm not really sure exactly what he's getting at, but kind of a funny face that was drawn. But definitely some great understanding of the lane so far from Urano, especially like at level 1. Ringo versus Vox definitely has the advantage, so pushing that advantage heavily. Would have liked to see VAP maybe give a bit more support towards Vox in the very early game, but of course they do have to farm up their own jungle themselves. So kind of a rough situation. Maybe just a bit more passive play out of Chivalry would have been better.
And Urano, you can see he's just playing around the scout trap right now, so knows that he's going to be pretty safe with another one to fall back to, and he just wants to keep up the harassment because he has a lot more items. Chivalry building the sprint boots, and Urano just going for more and more damage, more and more weapon power, so just abusing the range of that Achilles shot right there. It's a really brutal harassment tool in the laning phase.
Yeah, Ringo's already got that advantage, and he is pushing it. Urano doing a very nice job so far. I understand the sprint boost pickup, especially against Taka on the enemy team. You have to be very careful to be able to get out at any time.
And here we go. Phobia just playing around this VAP, not really getting much in the lane. They're trying to look and see if they can get a gank, but with the vision control so far, and look how many scout traps there are. Urano just trying to kite this one out, does manage to fall back. He's trying to bait him in. Meanwhile,
they're actually going to go for the gold mine here.
It's a pretty bold play, especially with only such a small amount of gold able to be taken right now, merely 15 seconds after spawn. And here we go. They're going to wait in a brush. Now, Suri going to face check it, and can he get something? Going to hop over the top. And Lily is very tanky right now, so Taka going to have some trouble killing him this early on. But there he goes in, and he gets the ult off, hits 6, gets that X-Retsu, and then goes in for the kill. They'll pick up 2.
Yeah. Loving the very hyper-aggressive play so far.
Why do people keep drawing the tigers? They're just trying to scare.
They're scared of tigers. Don't you guys get it? Oh, man. Well, again, loving the very hyper-aggressive play, like a tiger here from Tiger-Phobia. Let's take a look at the replay here.
Well, this is such a fortuitous time to hit 6, right? Because you can see Suri's sitting there, and it looks like he's not going to be able to finish off Lily, but guess what? Right there, hits 6, and immediately, there's the ult coming in and hopping over the top with a Kaiten, and that's going to be a kill. So timing couldn't have been better, really.
Yeah. Bit of hop-on-pop action. Shout out to anyone who read that Dr. Seuss book.
It's like the worst. It's the worst Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's one of the worst ones.
Oh, tension bow being picked up here by Ringo, looking to get that burst damage down onto Chivalry. One of the most common builds on Ringo that we do see, the rush to the tension bow.
Interesting. We may be seeing 2 tension bows here coming in with Suri, so that could lead to a very early game power spike from Tiger-Phobia to allow them to push their advantage even harder.
Yeah. They've kind of identified they don't want to let, especially Vox, hit that very late game Vox. We've seen it before where he essentially 1v3s if he can link up all his abilities. So they're saying, hey, we know what we got to do, especially with that Taka. We want to push this very early and be as aggressive as possible.
Well, that said, nice counter builds coming in from VAP so far. 2 light armors and starting to stack some even more HP on Lily right now. So with all the weapon power and weapon power only from Phobia, they're at least trying to survive long enough to get the Vox online. And in spite of everything and Chivalry's solo death, he is even in farm for all intents and purposes. So trying to hit that late game, moving right now into that first pickup of the alternating current.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. You know, Chivalry picking up the Vox this time. Kilby went 1-4-1 the last time. Especially even though he's put down as the laning player, but as we mentioned before, switching up all the time over here. So we'll see what Chivalry will be able to do a bit later on in this game. For now, just playing very passive behind the turret.
Well, I think what else can they do at this point? If they walk out of the turret, they're dealing with 2 tension bows and a weapon infusion. Yeah. I would not walk out from there right now.
It's asking for death, essentially.
Basically, the only person who is even remotely capable of surviving that is Lily. And even then, he might have some issues with the amount of crowd control that he could be facing. So, looks like they're just going to let the gold miner keep on building right here. We're on target for about an 8:15 full gold mine. And all Tiger-Phobia has to do is hold off until then. He could have a few more scout traps forward right now. I think, there we go. They're starting to move through enemy tri-brush and up back into the lane. But some deeper scout traps might be very beneficial right now. I don't think they're pushing this advantage as hard as they could. That damage.
Look at that. Instantly chopped down to about half health. And Kilby on that Adachi will be able to heal up. But he's going back, actually.
Wow. Interesting choice right there for the X-Retsu, and they're just going to push him off. This is purely to secure the gold here, and they're going to get it.
Immense gold.
Maybe they will be able to also push this turret at the same time. Chivalry has to be very, very careful.
Going to drop a scout trap, but that's not really going to slow Phobia down right now. Going to dodge out of the second one, and then take the turret. So, all said and done, that is a 1,800 gold swing towards Tiger-Phobia in a matter of seconds.
Yeah. Very nicely done by Tiger-Phobia here. Looking to continue to push that advantage, maybe do a bit more invading here.
Now the question for me is, how hard do you push this? Do you actually start taking the minion miners now and really snowball this game quickly? Or is Tiger-Phobia going to back off and just try and control the jungle, look for picks with that strong amount of single target damage that they have between Taka and Ringo at the moment?
Yeah. I would love if they do not take the mini mines, actually. They were hovering around it. I'm like, uh-oh, the caster curse, here we go again. But yeah, I would love if they just play it like Unknown did the last time. They do not want to give Vox that farm.
They're going to use that. Oh, wow. Okay, so Suri going in. You can see that amount of damage. There's the Verse of Judgment. Will stun up Suri, but he's still going to fall. Yurno just playing inside the brush with the vision right now. He's going for it. He wants that box. Can't quite get it, as Lily will run interference, but there's the X-Retsu, and there's the death. Suri finally finds an angle. Now they're going to chase Lily down underneath his own turret. The dive coming in, and that will be a turret death and another turret death. So a bit sloppy on the dive right there. Bit of an overcommitment. But the ace comes through anyway. Urana will get the regen from that, and can he take the turret? Spawn timer still very low.
Definitely a worth trade there for Tiger-Phobia, able to take another turret here. 900 more gold to that team, continuing to push their advantage, and that gold miner about to hit halfway as well. I wonder if the AP will make a move towards that, or will they continue to play very passively as they have done so far. Vox sitting pretty much only on a alternating current, maybe going for a Shatterglass next. So maybe once he hits that Shatterglass, he could go for a fight. Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, that's when the big damage going to start rolling in. Vox takes that time to scale up when it comes to items. And Shiver Steel on Arden, this is a very core item onto Arden, because you really need more stickiness. He's got, of course, his ultimate for crowd control, but being able to trigger an active and have your auto attacks deal slows really does make a difference for your allies to go ahead and chase down targets.
Yeah. The ultimate as well, like Gauntlet's got a very long cooldown, so you can't really rely on that entirely. And you can guarantee that you do hit one hero with that B ability, of course. And VAP here, going back to this issue, it looks like they're going to once again just play very passive. Gangstars was talking about this as well when they defeated Beyond, about how they were very passive and held their back, so the back minions in the jungle, very well. They just use that, they farm the lane, they go back, buy some items, do it once again, and they play only for that late game.
Well, for the first time We do see, well, VIP like starting to tentatively push out, even though they don't have an overwhelming amount of control. It seems like Tiger-Phobia is just happy to sit here on their 1 billion scout traps around the gold miner, wait for the next payout, and then try and push this forward with a Kraken. They're not really in a hurry to win this one, considering they already have a 6,000 gold lead, and they are dictating the course of this game.
You do not take the minion mines here. I like changed my mind. There's like never really a place where you take the minion mines and try to push it. It's just too much gold you're giving away when they're playing this passively.
Yeah, they're not going to make that move. And another turret push here from Tiger-Phobia. They can just trying to poke down right now. There's the gauntlet going down, but reflex block going to get Urano out of that one. They're still trying to dive the back line. Urano getting very, very low, but he's got a little bit of heal coming in from Zero. It's not going to be enough, and Suri trying to get work done right here, but he's down to nearly nothing. And can he get out? No, he can't. Will die at the very end. 1v2 now. Tiger-Phobia getting a little bit frisky and wanting to get some poke damage down, but is punished. You really just can't do that against an Arden, because the gauntlet, you just jump to that target, set down that stun field, and Urano thought he could be a little bit cute with the reflex block, but look how much they're going to lose. All of their control over the middle of the map.
Yeah.
And they're going to lose the gold miner too.
You have to be so careful when you're putting on a push like that. As you mentioned before, I would have even been okay if they just waited until the Kraken and pushed.
I think that was definitely the best call.
No, there's no point in even being there. They weren't even that close to the turret. It looks like they were trying to force the turret push, but maybe just a bit too eager from Phobia in that fight.
Well, that's going to get VAP some very badly needed gold to try and get back into this game. Now, the Kraken is still definitely an option. Looks like Phobia will be able just to take this gold miner really easily once again. It's not like they still don't have a massive edge.
Gonna go down here. Get about a minute rather, to get up that gold as well. Get a bit of a payout.
You know, we've seen this a couple times now where teams, the Arden really punishes over-aggressive play. And we saw it. Gangstars, I think, fell into that trap just a little bit. And now we see, of course, VAP able to punish that very risky poke play with the gauntlet, setting up that perimeter where if you walk through it, you do take an extensive stun. I mean, that's a 2-second stun with the gauntlet. That's really long.
Yeah. And even though Ringo was able to effectively dodge that with the Crucible, he still took an overwhelming amount of damage to the point where it was even very hard for him to kite. He had to run for a long time, and he just wasn't outputting the damage that he needs to in these team fights. VAP getting a bit eager themselves, maybe looking for another catch here.
There we go, opening up with the Hellfire Brew, but that's not going to do much. Arden will simply Vanguard himself, and with that much bonus HP, he does have quite a large barrier on that ability. Now they're going to go for the Kraken anyway, starting to push it down. They have so much weapon power damage. Should be very easy to grab, and they will take it.
Yeah, going to be very easy, no vision at all. The AP almost giving it to them, gifting it. And once again, just going to play passive here. Taka's got to be careful. He's getting pretty far forward.
Well, the Gauntlet going to go down, but not going to catch Suri right there, so that was used for effectively nothing. Burst of Judgment will fall, and now they're on to Chivalry in the backline. Oh, they have to peel for Suri right now, or this is going to end poorly. Lily doing what he can to tie up Urano on the front line, but that is just going to be a clean ace, and more than likely a victory here for Tiger-Phobia, depending on how fast they can push this. Death timer's still relatively low, but so much turret damage.
Yeah, they're going to kill both of the turrets here, and Kraken's going to be at full health still. This looks like it is going to be game here for Tiger-Phobia. Can't really blame VAP. They had to take a team fight in order to take down the Kraken. That's going to be it.
That will be it. A win for Tiger-Phobia, their first of the group stage. And we'll see if they can proceed into that semifinal match, because they're coming off that loss to Gangstars.
Yeah, Tiger-Phobia Their next opponent will be Beyond, another very strong team. They did go down to Gangstars, but they put up a great fight. And if they can at least take them down, they will possibly hold second place here in the group.
Yes, they will. And I'm looking forward to that. Beyond has shown that they have a certain amount of strength of their own. So it should be a very good game between those two teams as we see handshakes on either side of the arena.
Fortunately, our Dendi is going to go down. Here, jungle player.
Okay, well, that will do it for Group B for today. And that means that Group C, our last game of the day, will be up next. But first, our man of the match, and it will be Urano. And that was one of the players I said he really had to step up. Had a very, I think, underwhelming performance in the last game, but he actually really delivered today. That solo kill to start things off was quite impressive.
Oh yeah, that he had like total dominance in the lane, and in all of the team fights, it's really impressive to watch great Ringo players, more so than any other champion or hero rather, for me, because just the mechanics that go into kiting with Ringo when you get very, very high attack speed, it's quite impressive.
Well, we are going to go into that interview right now. And we will have a translation courtesy of J-Song here from OGN. Take it away.
It's Monte Curso. Well, today we're going to meet with Urano from Tiger-Phobia. Had a great showing on Ringo today. Took the first win since the Invitational lost against Hunters, unfortunately, but took the first win here today. How do you feel? We lost. We didn't have a really great showing in the Invitational, and then the loss was kind of hard on us, but we played pretty well today, so we're happy. And you had a really great showing again on Ringo today, and is there a better way to play Ringo? You got to kite very well, he says. Anyone who's practices well, practices a lot, can play well Ringo, because it's not a hard champion to play, hard hero. You guys are getting closer, maybe one step to the semifinals. Really want to show a great showing on semifinals match, so we're gonna try really hard to win the next match. And have a big round of applause for Tiger-Phobia, and back to you, Valdez and Monty.
Thank you very much. And with that, Group B, unfortunately for VAP, that means that they will not be making those semifinals this season, and there is Ringo.
Ringo drawing that. Awesome.
We are going to be heading into our last game of the night, Raid versus Wild, in just a few minutes. So stick around and we'll see the next match.